Well, thank you all. I'm Joanne Ryan. I'm a neighbor of Jenna. We've worked together over the years on many neighborhood topics. That's how I got to know her. I'm running for City Council in Ward 5. I was endorsed by the Democratic Committee in Ward 5. Proud to get that endorsement. But I'm also here tonight because I'm asking for your endorsement as well. I grew up in that ward, lived in that ward. My mom and dad, my father was a Providence policeman. I grew up in a union household. My mom was a hairdresser. He worked nights, she worked days. Had a great family life, worked hard to put me through school. I have an MBA. I graduated from Providence College. I have an MBA with a concentration in finance. The past 30 years I've worked at area banks, community banks, Hospital Trust and Old Stone Bank, for banks that cared about making loans to families that could afford to make their payments, good loans, and provide services for communities. The last 17 years I've worked at Rhode Island Housing, and I've been focused on helping families stay in their home and avoid foreclosure. I've been restructuring mortgages, working with national lenders to try to encourage them to work with families to keep them in their homes.
One's just gonna
I can translate one.
Okay.
Do you want to do simultaneous or you want
Yeah, I'll
to
do simultaneous because I won't be able to recall everything she said.
Alright.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine with my
Okay.
phone.
So that's my professional background. I just completely lost my train of thought. That's okay. I told you about my dad and my mom. My husband also, I just saw the SEIU. My husband was a shop steward up at Boston Housing. He was very active in politics up there, so we appreciate the many issues that you folks are faced with. I've gone to a couple of your rallies. I support union, I support labor. I have devoted my entire professional career to helping working families afford to rent, buy, and keep safe, healthy homes. It's not something I'm doing because I'm running for office. It's something I really believe in. Housing is, affordable, safe housing is very important to families, to children, to give them confidence. It helps children thrive when they have a nice, safe, healthy home. And I support issues and topics that help working families. Happy to answer any questions. That's me in a nutshell.
So here's a little handout that we have put together. This basically explains a little bit of what we've done in the past, most recent history. And well, I just wanted to say when we decide to endorse somebody, we're not somebody who's just going to cut you a check and run the other way, right? When we support somebody, we knock on doors. Hundreds of people knocking on doors for hundreds of hours, making telephone calls, doing faxes, doing delegations. We put a lot of work and a lot of heart and a lot of soul into this stuff, and so we want to make sure that the same is in return. We need a champion, someone that's really going to turn the tides on all the garbage that happens to us when we're at work, and the way that they try to pick our pockets and chip our families. And so we do have a couple of questions for you. I don't know, Jenna, how you want to roll in these questions?
Yeah, you should just roll in.
So we put together a couple of questions for you that I'd like to know about.
Absolutely.
So one, who would you, if you win, who would you support for City Council President?
I need to win before I can support anyone, obviously. Everyone has asked me who I'm going to support. Sorry? Oh. Everyone's asked me who I'm going to support. I've had very good conversations with Yurden and Aponte. I haven't committed to either one of them, but I think both of them could do a good job. I've worked with Louis in affordable housing. As a matter of fact, when he worked at the Urban League, was my contact, so I have a closer personal and professional working
Yo
relationship
tengo
with
una
Louis already
relación personal
established.
y profesional trabajando
Mr.
con
Yurden
Luis.
has reached out to me, and I've met him and have had many positive discussions with
Y
him.
yo he tenido
And we seem to
contacto
be
y he tenido
like-minded
buenas conversaciones.
on improving transparency in the process. So I could see myself working with either, but I need to get elected to be able to make those.
Sure.
Para yo poder
So
fallar, yo tengo que
what do
ser
you base your
elegida
decision
primero.
on? How do you come to that conclusion of who you would support out of the two, say? What would be the,
Entre los dos, ¿cómo tú vas a
the
llegar a
deal
la
breaker or the deal
conclusión
maker
de
on
que
that?
a quién tú vas
I
a
think
apoyar?
that I would like to be in the position, and then be able
Y yo creo que
to
en la
have
posición
a healthy discussion
Y
on
quiero tener
issues
una
and topics.
comunicación
And I
para
think it's,
poder-
if we are like-minded on all of the
y para ver
topics
cómo
that
ellos
concern
se
me,
sienten
quality
algunos de
of
los
life,
problemas para
and
ver
advocating
ellos
for working
y
families,
aquellos
and
apoyan,
making sure that
apoyan a
our
familias trabajadoras.
city council works for families, instead of
Ese
making
caso trabaja para
decisions
la familia.
that are based on self-promotion.
Okay. Jenna, do you have anything to add to this? No? Anybody else have anything to add to
¿Alguien
that?
tiene una pregunta para
¿Qué
ella?
más quiere preguntar? Usted puede preguntarlo cualquier usted quiera.
Pregunta que tú tienes.
Well, I just came in, but I just wanted to know, nice to meet you, my name is Wanda.
Hi, Juan.
Based on, just an example, Angel Tavares offered a whole bunch of stuff, and now
Ana Tavares.
we're after him for support,
Eh,
to support our.
So I'm sorry,
youth.
add to that question.
I'm sorry?
Add, I was asking
I
if
think
you
she's
had
going,
anything.
I think she's going the next
Yeah,
one.
that's
She wanted
fine, I
to
just
write.
wanted to make sure.
What happened?
No, keep going, keep
Keep
going.
going, you were doing good.
All right.
So
Basically, I just wanted to know, based on what he offered, we supported him as a community, and now it's hard for him to even give us an interview. What would you do different? What can you tell us that would make us know that you're gonna follow up on your word once you do, and if you do become elected?
I too am a little disappointed in Angel and the way he's treated you folks. I'm disappointed in him on a number of topics. I haven't been elected, so I have nothing, you know, to stand back on other than my word. And I'm not a politician, I'm a professional woman. I'm a business person, and my word is my word. I'm telling you that if I take a position, I'm not gonna tell you one thing and sugarcoat it. You know, I just spoke to Jenna, one of my opponents. He's told 5 different people 5 different stories depending on what their position is. I'm not like that. If I believe in something, I do my homework, and I'll express an opinion or a position after I've done my homework and I understand the full impact of that decision. And I'm not gonna change it based on who, I'm not changing that decision based on who I'm speaking with. So I can assure you and I will make that promise.
I wanna add that Wanda is not the only one that has that sentiment. That before you came in, everybody said, we're sick and tired of backing people in promises that are empty.
I feel the same way as a voter, and that's quite frankly one of the reasons why I'm running. I was in my backyard with my husband raking and, you know, preparing the garden, and I basically said, I am running because I'm sick and tired of people running and taking advantage of us. So I share your concern, and, you know, this is not something, I'm not looking for a career, I'm looking to make it better, I'm looking to create solutions, use my experience, so that I can improve the quality of life for everyone who lives in my ward. Hopefully Providence is a wonderful city, and the working families are the backbone of that city. And we need to make sure that our elected officials are making choices and making decisions that help the working family. It's a shame. Our children have a high poverty rate in Providence. It's a shame that working families aren't supported. We need to do more. We're supporting and we're advocating for business owners in large companies and we forget our roots, and we forget, you know, what we should be focused on. So I can assure you that I'm in this because I care about my community, and I care about the quality of life issues that I think everyone here shares.
Now, did you and will you support our efforts to pass $15 minimum wage in Providence?
I went to a few of your rallies, I support it, and I will continue to support it. And I won't just sign nomination papers and say that I support it and tell a different story to a different person. I support a living wage. I think it's a critical component to our economy. A critical element of our economy. Working families, working moms need to make a living wage.
So what happens when the business community comes out and says that you are anti-business?
I think that that's short-sighted. That's an easy thing to say. And I think that I get disappointed when politicians, businesses, you know, get their ear and they narrow an issue down to, that's not good for business. Well, that's baloney, because that's not true. It's good for the economy as a whole, and what's good for the economy as a whole is good for the businesses as a whole. And I get frustrated when politicians make a broad brush statement, and that's nonsense.
I have one question. In my way here in the office, we travel to Broad Street and where is that street with the home of the two guys living in the street?
Oh, yeah, I don't know, Westminster.
Is Broad Street, I forgot, I think it's one block before the YMCA where it was before.
Okay,
So I saw two guys.
at Crossroads, Rhode Island?
Yeah, I think it is two guys, two old men sleeping homely in the street, and that was changing. Because besides the poverty we have in the city, the third point, the delinquent, the children, and the street, all that stuff, that impact me so much. What do you do with that type of situation? What is your concern for those people, those folks no have no home, no roof for sleeping? Now, you know, so many times so hot.
Right.
What is your opinion about that?
I think it's terrible. I think we need to do more to help our homeless population. And you're talking about, the area that you're talking about is right in front of Crossroads, Rhode Island, which is an agency that their mission and their focus is to care for homeless folks. So the fact that there's any homeless folks sheltering outside their facility is alarming to me. It's terrible. So I can't explain that. I don't know why it's happening, but we need programs and services for the homeless. We need more money for the homeless population. It was stripped at a state level. It's not a population that, you know, keeps every time budget at a state level gets cut, they cut the homeless budgets. And that's wrong. We need to lobby more for they need funds, they need, you know, additional dollars.
How is your opinion for those, is a very increase lately, the people in drug abuse and living in the street? And also, nobody do nothing about them. What do you believe is good for?
We need to tighten our belts and fix our city budget and so that we can provide services for these populations. We spend money where we shouldn't spend, and we just need to be very mindful that there are populations that we're not serving, and that's a great example.
Talking about money that we shouldn't spend, will you support and push, and when we say support, as you highlighted before, we're not talking about a rubber stamp. We need someone who's going to be like a badger, and it has to do with money that shouldn't be spent, like the tax break at the Renaissance Hotel. Will you support and push and fight to have the tax break at the Renaissance Hotel taken away from them?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And why do you say that?
Because I think that I support tax stabilization. I think it's a very critical tool. that we need to encourage businesses that, help fuel the economy. What I think is wrong is that tax stabilization plans are not monitored, maintained, watched, critiqued, and just are handed out freely. The fact that Renaissance stepped into that, or just when they purchased the hotel, my understanding is that they also acquired the tax breaks that came along with that stabilization plan. That's wrong. That is, business 101. You've got a new business coming in, those stabilization plans should not automatically roll over to the next owner. They should have a reverter clause on them, and the new business needs to come in and negotiate for the tax break. It's a tool that the city uses to help the city. It's a very critical tool, it's a very valuable tool. We need to get something back from it. And I don't know, it's a tremendous investment. But if we need to get a return out of every investment we make. It's an asset. My formal experience is I'm an asset product manager. I started at Hospital Trust and Old Stone Bank. You have value, you just said that's an asset. You have an asset. How do you get the most out of that asset to benefit the city of Providence? And it's not just by letting it go along to the next owner. It needs to come back, we need to monitor those tax stabilization plans, we need to look at every property, and they need to be maybe evaluated every few years. And I really believe that we don't have council people that are strong enough. You said badger, I think that's a good word. I'm not afraid to argue a point or investigate something and get to the root of the cause, because you can't.
There is some fear to pull this tax break, and we want to know if you would be able to stand up against the fear and pull it.
I would be happy to stand up and pull it, and I would be happy to advocate for your organization.
Okay, hang on. So Marino, and then one more question, and then we should.
Okay, ¿puede traducir? Okay, nosotros realmente estamos en una lucha en el hotel donde trabajamos, Renaissance Hotel, y cada vez que necesitamos a los políticos, mayoría nos han dado la espalda. ¿Qué nos aseguraría de que usted no va a hacer lo mismo?
He said, so we're in a long struggle at the Renaissance Hotel, Marino works at the Renaissance, and every time that we've needed politicians, they've turned their backs on us. And so how can you make us confident that you're not going to do the same?
You have my word.
Tú tienes mi palabra.
I share your concerns.
Yo comparto tu preocupación con él.
I give you my word.
Yo te doy mi palabra y no hay nada más que puedo dar.
I have no political ties. As a matter of fact,
no he sido un político.
there are folks in politics that are working with my opponents, supporting my opponents so that I don't get elected, because they're afraid of me, because I don't owe anything to anyone. I've worked hard all my life. I don't need anything. I love my family. I love my job. I love my neighbors. I love my community. I'm doing this and I'm getting involved and I'm putting myself forward because I'm sick and tired of the nonsense. They are not business people. They're not making good decisions. They don't care about the little people. They don't care about the working families that are the backbones of this community. I was raised by a policeman and a hairdresser.
So who's next?
So Violina have the last question.
I'm in the hotel only for 9 years, and I don't have $13 per hour. And I single mom.
No question for you.
And I hope that all the hotel workers have the same opportunity I have. Because if you don't do some money, your kids gonna be in the street.
Absolutely.
You know, they don't have opportunity.
Absolutely.
And have to be all their departments. I hope that all the people have the same opportunity we have.
Well said, and I support that as well.
So, I don't know.
Anything else?
Yeah, I have a question. My question is, what is your plan to win the election?
You know, like, is it door knocking, telephone, what does your campaign look like? Can you walk us through?
Absolutely. I have a grassroots campaign. I'm on the, knocking on doors on every street in my neighborhood. I've dropped this literature. My husband, my children, my friends, have dropped this literature on, I believe we're about 85% of the district has been already leafleted. I'm walking every night. I don't stay out too late, because I feel like I'm impacting people's, private time, dinner time or whatever, but I get out of work at 5 o'clock, and I walk the streets till 7 o'clock, 7:30 at night, till I start to smell food, and then I think it's time to go home. But, on Saturdays I walk all day long, on Sundays I walk all day long. I'm walking with my daughter, my baby, she's my oldest child. I have 2 children. She also has an MBA from Providence College. Smart young lady, she's working down at Roger Williams University. My boy just graduated law school. He is working, he's studying for the bar, but he's going to be working up in Boston, because there's no jobs here for young lawyers graduating. But that's my campaign. It's a door-to-door, very personal campaign. I'm walking with my neighbors on streets. On every street that I have a friend or a neighbor, I walk that street with them.
Now, how many votes do you think you need to win?
I think I need about, I think I need 1,000.
Oh, that's it. Oh,
No,
sorry.
you guys, you should
Oh,
answer.
that's the last one.
I'm gonna do what I need to win.
Yo sé lo que se necesita para
I
ganar.
can ask him the last question.
No, that was it. That was it.